clear. Keep this frequency clear.
CJAM. Redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit. We are 99.1 FM.
Keep this frequency clear.
Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday, and that means it's time for MediaPlex Live.
On CJAM 99.1, redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit. I'm Donna Tuckwell.
I'm Zachary Ballog.
And you are in for half an hour of news, views, commentary, and maybe even a few laughs. But first, the news. The arts is alive and well and growing as Rawad Kansoon reports downtown is a big part of it.
Windsor had the lowest amount per capita for expenditures on the arts and culture of all the cities surveyed. In 2018, Windsor spent $1.04 per person on grants for the arts, heritage, and the festivals, according to the most recent data from Municipal Benchmarking Network Canada, which surveyed 8 cities across the nation. The Windsor Center for Film, Digital Media, and the Creative Arts launched an initiative to raise the art scene in the city. Amanda Gelman, the director of Windsor Center for Film, Digital Media, and the Creative Arts.
Our goal is to grow jobs and talent in the region. A lot of times we have people going to Toronto. Windsor has a major brain drain to the urban areas, and we're hoping to keep talent here.
The center is hosting a Monday networking event open to everyone interested in arts and film. It's a drop-in event. They have a speaker every week, and it's for free. The event is trying to build a big chain of connections between artists in Windsor. The gathering is hosting art figures from Windsor every week. Gavin Michael Booth, a filmmaker based in Windsor.
It's a wonderful community where a lot of local businesses and homeowners and whatnot are willing to open their doors, have independent film crews in. Right now, in the last 3 or 4 years, there's a real good surge of people with an interest in filmmaking that are staying local versus moving to larger cities like Toronto and Vancouver or Montreal, or even over to the U.S. to Los Angeles or New York.
The Windsor Film Center moved recently to a new location, 664 Victoria Avenue, in a good building where there are different facilities such as studios, event spaces, community commons, and a theater. Windsor Center for Film, Digital Media, and Creative Arts is changing the scene by providing a hub of creativity and innovation. For the MediaPlex News, I am Rawad Consul.
And boy, keeping with the theme here, are you someone who knows everything about every movie, or are you just looking for a night out? Well, do I have the event for you? Wow, cue cheesy 80s infomercial. Check out Movie Trivia Night Thursday, March 30th at 664 Victoria Avenue. That is the former Mission building, if you're familiar with that. Come down for food, trivia, and enter for chances to win many raffle prizes. Tickets are $25 per person or $30 per person at the door, and all funds go to benefit the Film Camp for Kids. Again, that is Thursday, March 30th. Get your tickets now.
Join us for an open house here at St. Clair College MediaPlex this Saturday, March 25th from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Explore the campus, learn about the programs, meet the faculty, and enter for a chance to win $10,000 in scholarships and prizes. Come find out how St. Clair rises above the ordinary. Hope to see you there, and we'll even buy your coffee.
Well, it's been quite a week. What does the last weekend in March? Hard to believe it's the last weekend in March already.
I know, right? It's flying.
What does it have in store for us, Donna?
It has a special weather statement in effect for tomorrow for Windsor and Essex County. Strong winds gusting up to 80 kilometers an hour are forecast to develop on Saturday. Along with the wind, rain will have a high of 14 through the day and a low of 3. There's a possibility of some damage to tree branches as well as local power outages. Sunday is mainly cloudy with a high of 10. Monday we'll see a high of 4 with a mixed bag of rain and flurries. And for today, what you see is what you get. Cloudy with a high of 4. That's it for this week's 3-day forecast, Zach.
Well, I'm not surprised it's going to be windy because after all, we live in Windsor.
Yeah, wah, wah, wah.
And you can hear the wind with that.
You're listening to MediaPlex Live
on CJAM 99.1, redefining radio in Windsor, Detroit.
Zach gives us a little bit of Windsor history.
We get sporty with the sports guys.
I might even get a second chance at a prom.
And I cap it off with the weirdest news found on the internet.
All this and more on MediaPlex Live
on CJAM 99.1 FM, the Jammin' One.
a special guest with us this week. Amrita is one of our event management program students here at St. Clair, and they are doing a second chance prom. Tell us a little bit about what's happening.
Hi. So we are having a second chance prom, as you said already. So it's going to be a prom for people who has left their high school long back, and we are having this at Chichero Club on this 15th of April. And the event will be from 6 to midnight. So this will be a disco theme prom. So first thing to say about it, it's a fundraising event. So our charity is Rotary Club Windsor St. Clair, and all our revenues are gonna be there, and they will be helping the shelterless woman.
Nice.
So, how much are the tickets, and where can you find them?
So tickets are on Eventbrite, you can find, and it's $100 per couple and $65 if you're single. So yeah.
So Zach's single. I just want to throw that out there. I am going to start the auction here very shortly.
Yeah. Maybe we will have a silent auction.
They are, right?
I mean, hurry up. I mean, I'll go fast, probably.
That's right. That's right. What was the date on that again?
So it's 15th of April, and
at the Chichero.
At the Chichero Club, and we're gonna have like all disco theme prom, and we're gonna have a dance floor. We will declare the prom king and prom queen at the end of the night, and there will be a cash bar, and there will be a classic Italian buffet. So yeah.
Very nice.
So what kind of food is served?
Oh, well, so it's classic Italian buffet, and Chichero Club, that their food is best. So we are having their classic pasta, their chicken meal, their veg meal. There would be vegetarian option too. And we have a small bakery who is going to sponsor, AB Bakery. We're going to have desserts too. So yeah.
And it is, you said, a cash bar?
Yeah, there will be a cash bar.
So 19 and over, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So where can people go for more information about the Second Chance Prom?
Okay, so for more information, you can go to our website, that's Second Chance Prom, and we have our Facebook and Instagram page, that's Second Chance Prom 2023. And all our informations are out there, also our ticket links over there. So yeah. And
so if it's an 80s theme, that means everybody has to dig out like their hairspray, their armbands, their headbands, the little headbands that everybody wore.
Yeah, come prepare for dance.
Like the Richard Simmons get up from Sweat to the
No,
Oldies.
it's not that. It's the really fancy little headbands.
Yeah, sometimes like you do that flower handbands or something, and colorful dress as polka dots and stuff.
I'm coming in hot, ladies.
Yeah, and this is actually a part of our project. As a part of event management student, we were that's our final project, that we have to have an actual event. And the country we belong to, like I came from Bangladesh, we have never had a experience of prom. So we thought that all the girls in our group, we were so excited, like, let's do a prom. How about that? And we were like, oh yeah, we're so excited. And then now we are here. It was a very big challenge for us.
So, do you have a date for the prom?
Yeah, it's 15th of April again. And,
no, I mean, do you have a date?
Oh, me, sorry. But we will be volunteering. We will be working. We'll be backstage.
But you'll be out having some fun too, right?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully.
You will.
Oh, boy.
All right. Well, thanks again for coming and sharing all that.
All right, well, let's join Constable Lauren Briscoe from Crime Stoppers with this week's update.
11 p.m. Officers were called to a department store in the 7100 block of Tecumseh Road East following a report of a robbery with an offensive weapon. Through investigation and surveillance video, officers learned two suspects entered the store, and while one of them stole an item, the other sprayed a nauseous substance into another part of the store to cause a distraction. The second suspect sprayed the store security guard with the substance before they fled the scene. The suspects were last seen in a newer model silver Ford F-150 with gray rims. Photographs and a description of the suspects can be located on our website, catchcrooks.com. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Windsor Police Major Crimes Unit. If you wish to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 519-258-8477 or go online at catchcrooks.com. I'm Police Coordinator Lauren Briscoe.
If you're prepared to do drugs, you also better be prepared to do time. For more on that, here's Dale Kabokian.
Stiffer sentences for a safer environment. Overdose prevention outreach worker Tammy Chapman believes stiffer and longer jail sentences can lessen overdose and drug addiction cases.
They get arrested, then they're released, and then they're right back out doing it. Government can change this and with stiffer charges.
This comment comes after the Windsor-Essex County Health Unit issued a public alert after 11 opioid overdoses were reported from February 24 until March 2.
There's that many overdoses in 1 week. To me, that's incredibly sad.
According to Windsor-Essex Community Opioid and Substance Strategy, police services and other organizations are continuously working to monitor the cases. I am Dale Kabukin for MediaPlex News.
Well, the sports guys are in the house, so I guess that means we're talking sport. Bring it on, guys.
Welcome to the Sports Guys. I'm Cam Segan.
And I'm Jesse LaRouche. Last night, the madness continued as the Sweet 16 kicked off.
What a night it was. First, we saw Michigan State against Kansas State in a matchup that went into overtime, with K-State coming out on top, thanks to Marquise Noel's record-breaking assist total.
That was followed up with a less exciting matchup where Connecticut blew out Arkansas to move on to the Elite Eight.
Then, in true March Madness form, a huge upset happened. Florida Atlantic continued their Cinderella story by taking out Tennessee.
I did not see that coming at all. But what I didn't see coming even more was Gonzaga pulling off that comeback.
Down by 13 at half to UCLA. It looked like it might be over for them, but Drew Timme stepped up in the second half, became the all-time tournament leading scorer, and helped his team get the win.
The rest of the Sweet 16 games will take place tonight, with Alabama and San Diego State kicking it off at 6:30.
Earlier this week, we saw Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout face off in the final at-bat of the WBC, which leaves Angels fans wondering, with two players of that caliber, why can't they make the playoffs?
I've been wondering that for years now. I guess we'll see if they can change the narrative with the MLB season kicking off next week.
Shifting to hockey, the Windsor Spitfires are in the midst of a battle for first place in the conference.
They play the rival London Knights in a home-and-home series Friday and Saturday night. If they secure 2 points, they clinch the first in the conference.
I'd normally say get your tickets for Saturday's game, but I can't do that because the game is completely sold out.
The postseason begins on March 30th, where we get to see the Spitfires start their run at the Cup.
That's it from the Sports Guys. I'm Cam Segan.
And I'm Jess LaRouche. We'll see you next week.
It's time for our daily dose of energy, so that means it's time for Rawad Kansoon and the Green Elephant.
I am Rawad Kansoon, and we dive into the world of the human soul. Enjoy the energy of the Green Elephant. No with a big O. Do you find it difficult to say no? Don't you know how to say no to others? Saying no has never been easy, but it's very important to know and realize when to say yes and when to say no. And this is in order to have a balance in your life. Saying yes always will not make your life happy and wonderful without problems, nor will it make you a loved and happy person. We often say yes to things we don't have to do, and say yes to things we don't like to do. And this is often at the expense of other things that are more important to us. And that's just because we don't want to hurt others and make them feel like we are abandoning them when they need us. If you say yes to stay in your comfort zone and not taking risks, it means that you said no to achieving your dreams and goals. If you say yes to something you don't like and you are not happy to do, it means you said no to what you love and what makes you happy doing it. If your boss asks you to do extra work at the end of the week and you say yes, it means that you have said no to the weekend and to spend a day or two with your family with a mind free of work and job problems. Sonia McMahon Comartin is a mental health educator at the Canadian Mental Health Association.
For all of us to have balance in our life, right? To be able to be well in ourselves. I always use the comparison of like when we're on an airplane, we have to put our oxygen mask on first before we can help others. So to be most balanced, not get, overly fatigued, burnt out, that type of thing. There are times when we do need to say no, when, there are things that may not be, something that it may not be the right time or the right place and just not a right fit. And for each of us to not feel guilty, right? We can't be everything to everybody.
Many people avoid saying no for fear of what others will think and think about them, such as describing them as not good or that they can never be relied upon and that they do not like to help others. But you should also think about yourself and what will come to you from saying no. Do not hesitate to say no. You have to say no to annoying people around you, to work you don't like to do, and to people who make you waste your time with. Is what your friends do more important than what you do? Stop saying yes and start saying no. If you don't think about what works for you and what helps you achieve your goals and business, who will think about it for you? If you don't decide what's important to you and what's not, who will make the decision for you? If you don't say no to what you think it's not suitable for you, that it doesn't help you achieve your goals, and that it doesn't fit your way of thinking and ethics, when will you say no? Why should you get into the habit of saying no? Because simply, you don't have to do things you don't want, and you don't have to do things you don't like. Thanks for listening to The Green Elephant with your host, Rawat Khansoon. I hope you enjoyed your daily dose of energy.
Zach has some facts for us today, something you maybe didn't know about this Windsor landmark. Take it away, Zach.
On Tecumseh Road West sits an old bowling alley and entertainment center that was a staple of Windsor. So when did this bowling alley that was considered one of the largest in Canada end up in the gutter and seeing its last frame? I'll tell you on this edition of Did You Know? The Bolero was owned by the Rubin family in the 1960s and originally had 50 lanes. The lanes then grew to 74, making it the largest bowling center in all of Canada. It's also important to understand that the height of Bolero was during the 1970s and 80s when people were bowling at least 5 nights a week or more. With this closure, the two 10-pin bowling alleys that remain are Rev's Rose Bowl on Dougal and the Super Bowl lanes on Tecumseh Road. To this day, it is still unclear what will become of this once prominent bowling alley, leaving it to sit derelict and a distant memory of what was considered a fun night with family and friends. For MediaPlex News, I'm Zachary Balog.
Game over.
Getting around town without a car here in Windsor isn't always easy. At least in India, there is always a rickshaw not far away. Here's Manavi Shetty to tell us more.
Hey, I am Manvi Shetty and welcome to India's Perspectives, where I am going to share amazing narratives about India. But first, let us take a ride on auto rickshaw. What are you waiting for? Hop in! Never heard that sound before? Well, this sound is the heartbeat of India, or more likely known as a king of the road. Any guesses? No? It's auto rickshaw. It's a three-tire vehicle with a touch of auto motors. Remember in olden days, people used to travel in two-wheel passenger cart to commute one place to another, which was basically pulled by a person? Yeah, same. Auto rickshaw is just an updated version. But surprisingly, in India, even today, you will still find two-wheel passenger cart, mostly in Kolkata, but if you are lucky enough, you might see it in other cities too. Yes, amazing, right? I just sometimes forget how different India is, and the fact that anything can happen over there. I mean, take an example for an updated version of three-tire auto rickshaw. In India, mostly every province has their own version and color of auto rickshaw. Fascinating, isn't it? Then let me introduce you to my mate Rawat Khansoon from Lebanon and also an immigrant in Canada who's a director, producer and a professor, shares his amazing experience about auto rickshaw in India.
Actually, it was a very nice experience because for me, as a filmmaker, when I used to drive this this transportation, it was like you are looking to the streets of India, of Delhi, to the people. Even you have a nice conversation with the driver. I like the rickshaw with the bicycle. So with like you can find rickshaws with plenty of colors and shapes. So it was a very nice experience for me. For the first time of my life, and I advise you have to do it at least once in your life.
That's not it. You see, I love auto rickshaws, and if someone is praising about auto rickshaws, I just couldn't help but ask him, which one is better, rickshaw or taxi?
Yeah, actually, using the rickshaws, like you are saving time because they are faster than the taxis. Especially in a city like Delhi, it's crowded city, so the rickshaws will save your time. They know the shortcuts. They know how to drive between the cars. It's a crazy experiment. I enjoyed it.
You heard how happy I was? Who wouldn't? So I asked him another one, just out of curiosity. If he gets one more chance to ride in auto rickshaw, will he?
Yeah, big time. Big time. Actually, we miss this kind of transportation in our country. I think this is a typical Indian invention. Yeah, you have to try it. It's an amazing thing in your life.
See, this is what you're missing in your life. I mean, over the years, auto rickshaw has become part of the India. Whereas taxi seems too expensive for anyone to travel around the city. Don't get me wrong, in India you will find taxis and many people still commute through them. But still majority will always prefer rickshaws.
Rickshaws are it's very convenient and affordable. And also we can enjoy the weather in the rickshaw as mostly Indians do. If the rickshaw should be here, then we can enjoy that time like we used to enjoy in India.
Now, do you believe me? I always share true facts. Well, guys, our rickshaw ride has come to an end. But that's not the end of our journey. So stay tuned for amazing facts and narratives about India. I am Manvi Shetty and you were listening to India's Perspectives.
Zach obviously has too much free time, so we assign him to do all the views and reviews. What have you been binging on this time, Zach?
Well, it's that time of the show where I take a look at all forms of entertainment, new and old. Time for Zach's views and reviews. Today's edition is one that's going to make you scream. That's right, the newest Scream film was released a couple of weeks ago, and it is the 6th installment of the franchise of the same name. This flick revolves around the surviving characters from the last film now living in New York City. Fans also got reintroduced to Kirby Reed, a character who survived the 4th film. Now, this movie upped the kill levels and was a bit too graphic for my taste. I mean, those kill scenes, I think I peed a little. But what made up for it was the major plot twist at the end. All in all, this film had me screaming 4 Z's. That's it for this Views and Reviews. If you have anything I should watch or listen to, DM me on Twitter at BigmanBallog25.
Let's listen as Tyler Clapp is here with another episode of Revealer.
Something happens deep inside of your brain that makes things like achieving your goals, eating tasty food, or laughing with friends feel as good as it does. I'm your host, Tyler Clapp, and we will be exploring dopamine on today's episode of Revealer. To start, let's get one thing straight. Dopamine is not some new street drug or the toxic chemicals polluting the water. It's a neurotransmitter, something your brain produces organically to communicate messages between nerve cells in your brain and from your brain to the rest of your body. Dopamine is involved in a wide variety of brain functions, including movement, memory, motivation, attention, sleep, mood, and learning. It also acts as a hormone, being actively released into the bloodstream and playing a role in the survival instincts humans develop when under extreme stress. It has a wide variety of effects on your body, such as constricting or relaxing blood vessels, increasing the amount of salt and urine removed from the body, and reducing the amount of insulin your pancreas produces. As for how it affects your mind, dopamine is known as the feel-good chemical, giving you a sense of pleasure when you do something that feels good, like eating good food or exercising. According to evolutionary biologists, dopamine evolved as a way for humans to ensure they continue doing what they needed to in order to survive. By feeling good about basic survival tasks, the theory goes, the more likely it is humans will continue to do these things. Dopamine levels in the brain require a balance to ensure people function effectively. Having a healthy balance of dopamine usually leads to feeling happy, motivated, alert, and focused. Have your dopamine too low, and you feel tired, unmotivated, and unhappy. You can also struggle with memory loss and sleep problems. Have your dopamine too high, and you will feel euphoric and energized. However, you will likely have increased aggression and poor impulse control. While it is not certain as of now, researchers are finding specific mental health issues and physical conditions could be traced back to varying levels of dopamine. Having too little dopamine has been considered as a potential cause of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, Parkinson's disease, and restless leg syndrome. Having too much has been seen as a possible cause of manic behavior, obesity, and addiction. Lastly, one condition with a potential cause from both low or high dopamine levels is schizophrenia, a mental health disorder causing those affected by it to struggle with breaks from reality, delusions, and hallucinations. Since dopamine was truly understood as a brain chemical by Swedish scientist Arvid Carlsson in 1957, numerous medications have been developed to address low dopamine in the brain, like ropinirole and levodopa, among others. As for where the understanding of dopamine is going in the future, researchers are finding dopamine's movement in the brain isn't a solo act. In March 2022, research from Harvard Medical School found a new chemical messenger called acetylcholine activates the release of dopamine within the brain. Sometimes, the most mysterious things aren't found in the world around you, but between your ears. Thanks for your time, and I hope you're a little smarter for listening. I'm Tyler Clapp, and this has been Revealer.
That was dope.
Just before we move on, I just want to take a second and wish my husband a happy birthday, Dan Tuckwell. I hope you're having a great day, hon. And now, last but not least, it's time for the weirdest news found on the internet. Here's Zach Balog.
Wow, now I'm just going to ruin a pretty special moment. It's Friday, and that means it's time for the weirdest news found on the internet. That's right, it's time for Weird News. It seems like in this day and age, anybody will do anything for views. Enter Sophie Maurer. Maurer, who is a social media influencer, announced that she was getting married to herself. Man, could you imagine going to your parents and being like, yeah, I'm getting married to myself?
I just keep going.
She even revealed that she went all out for the big day. The honeymoon didn't last long, though, as Maurer declared she was divorcing herself the next day.
Wonder if she got half.
Yeah, really. I mean, I'd hate being married to myself, wondering when I'm coming home, wondering what I've been drinking. You know, it'd just be a whole mess. It'd never work.
Who does the cooking?
I don't know. Uber. We have a brand new segment here on Weird News. It's time to take a look at the weirdest news stories out of Canada that'll be having you say, "Oh, Canada." In marketing, there is a good way to do it and a bad way to do marketing. And this is in the category of oh so wrong. The city of Regina made headlines for a not so appropriate campaign plug, Show Us Your Regina. Tourism Regina rebranded and to Experience Regina last week. As part of the move, they unveiled several new tourism slogans, and the one particular got criticism from the citizens, and they have since apologized. Wow, who knew Saskatchewan and Regina got more coverage this week than they did in their entire existence? Well, that's the weirdness for this week. Oh, a weird fact that nobody asked for. Did you know that it is impossible for some people to lick their own elbow? Is it?
Oh, he's doing it. Really, he's doing it.
I'm Zachary Belloc. You cannot make this stuff up.
Thank you, Zach, and thank you for tuning in.
You've been listening to MediaPlex Live.
On CJAM 99.1, redefining radio in Windsor and Detroit.
On today's show, we've had contributions from
Rawat Kansoon,
Dale Kabukian,
Second Chance Prom,
Manavi Shetty,
Tyler Clapp.
The sports guys are Cam Segan and Jesse LaRouche.
I'm Donna Tuckwell, and he's Zach Ballow.
Woo!
See you next week, CJammers.
That was easy.
It really wasn't.